Your morning blitz begins now.
Get that chance. Go play for a national championship. We're going to swing as hard as we possibly can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
On the Blitz.
6:05. Monday is upon us. Good morning. I'm Lewis. That's Dick Rick. She's Kelly Quinn.
Yee-hee.
Tough game for Ohio State. That was close.
Not too close for comfort.
Certainly was. Certainly was.
I'm sorry, but I don't think we are a championship team.
I don't think so either.
And, we have the best skill players in the country. Our receivers and our running backs, there's no better rooms in this entire country. But the game starts up front, and that's where we have a problem. It didn't help when we lost our left tackle against Oregon, and it definitely didn't help when we lost our right one against Nebraska. And, that offensive line, I don't know, man. I think about going against defenses like Alabama and Georgia, and it's like...
Could not run, could not pass block. There was a lot going on there.
Again, that's all the offensive line.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there. It was not pretty. I was shocked that they held out because I didn't think they were going to. So, anyway, it was a terrible weekend of football all around.
Well, we won, so, it's not that depressing.
It's one of those games, though.
But you don't feel good about the win.
Well, it's one of those games where you won, but you feel like you lost. And I've
you
watched
won.
many football games where I felt that way before in the past.
You
not
won,
just
but
Ohio State, but Cowboys and other games. And it's like,
it was a big whew.
Yeah, it's like, it shouldn't have been. We're favored by 25.5 points.
Right. Well, we were talking about, hey, look at what Indiana did to Nebraska. We should have won at least 42-7.
Well, it's just like, what in the heck, man?
Was not good. But Halloween is almost upon us, just a few days away. And trick-or-treating, candy, and all that fun stuff. He's making excuses not to open the Mad Scientist lab. I said, hey, should be good weather for the Mad Scientist. Well, might rain now.
I didn't say... No, dude, don't do that. Please, all right? It's only funny if it's true... But when you just make crap up,
but
you
literally just said 5 minutes ago, I said the weather for the Mad Scientist lab.
And I said, yeah, it's awesome, but it might rain. I didn't say I wasn't going to do it. I'm in a garage. The rain's not going to stop me in a garage.
But you'll have less foot traffic.
Maybe.
It sounds like you're trying to convince him to not do it.
I know, right?
It doesn't sound like he's not wanting to do it.
I'm not convincing him. I'm not a convincer.
No, you're just like, no. You're not being honest.
When have I ever been honest? Fair point. See? Nonetheless. Did you have a nice weekend, Kelly Quinn?
I had a great one. It was full of family, so I'm really tired. My husband's family was in Friday and Saturday, and then my sister and her husband flew in from Oregon Saturday night, so we had dinner with them yesterday, and oh my gosh, it's way more activity than I love for my weekend.
A little too much weekend for your weekend?
I loved it. It was great. Every bit of it was great. It's just like this morning, I'm going, I need just an extra day.
How was your Dairy Queen cake?
Good. Excellent. As usual.
Is there ever a bad one?
Yeah, there's never a bad one. Although, it's funny you should say that, Thick. One time I got a Dairy Queen cake, and I love, it's the just the traditional, the vanilla, and then the fudgy crunchy in the middle, and the chocolate. Mm-hmm. There was, hardly any fudgy crunchy, and I got to have that. That has to be at the right proportion.
That's part of it.
That's why you get a Dairy Queen cake. So yes. I took a picture of it. This has been years ago. I took a picture of it and sent it to them. I'm not kidding. I said, is this acceptable to you? Because I spent $30 on this cake. They're expensive.
Did they send you a whole pint of fudgy crunchy?
No, they never responded.
Oh. Isn't that the worst?
Jeez.
There's nothing... I had that at a pizza place once, and I never complain. It might sound like I complain all the time, but I truly never complain when it comes to, where I get food and whatnot. And the one time I did file a complaint, nobody responded, and I was pissed. I'm like, you're not going to do anything?
Just give me, a coupon for half off my next cake or something. I'm going to buy another one. This doesn't deter me, but I thought I really missed out on that crunchy, fudgy...
Funchy, crudgy stuff. Whatever.
Funchy, crudgy. Ooh. So, yeah. That was my only one sad experience with the DQ cake. The rest of it been great.
That is hilarious.
This one had enough?
Oh, yeah. It's excellent. Excellent. There's still half a cake left in my freezer. Be enjoying that today.
I was going to say, through today anyway.
That's right.
What? Oh my gosh, that's funny. Kelly's like, you either give me more crunchies or else.
It's nice that you took visual aids and sent in a picture, nonetheless.
Well, what, are they going to just take me on my word? I needed to send proof.
Well, but they make all those books of how food looks on the commercial as opposed to how it looks when you really get it. Like
Plus, it's not like they're back there making them in the back. These things are like, I mean, the fudge crunchy part is all pre-made. They just lay it in between the two layers. Mm-hmm. So it should be uniform.
You would think.
And I'm like, something came ununiform, and they used it anyway, and then sold it to me. I felt like a real sucker.
If you don't give me more chocolate crunchies, we are going to
separate it.
Exactly.
But that's the only time. I've purchased hundreds of them, and only one has come out poorly.
You didn't say. Do you know how many of these I bought from you?
Yeah. I've sent someone's kid through college.
Exactly.
I do know that.
You're getting by on my cake purchases.
Yeah.
Too funny. What you got in Morning Blitz trivia this morning?
All right, $25 up for grabs to waterbeds and stuff. If you're the first one to text in the correct answer at 99700. We have a bakery over on East Livingston Avenue. Kelly, I don't know if you've heard of it. Resch's
Yeah,
Bakery.
Resch's. I sure have.
So
they have amazing rolls.
Oh gosh, I was afraid you were going to say it.
Oh,
it's not rolls. Is not the answer.
Okay, rolls is not the answer, folks.
They have the greatest this in the world. And that's according to Family Destinations Guide, which is a huge global travel guide. According to them, Resch's has the best one of these you can buy. This is an item they sell. Best one in the entire world. What is the item? Tell us at 99700. Be first. You got the gift card.
Falling in reverse on the Morning Blitz. A lot of rumors they're going to headline the Warp Tour, the revamped Warp Tour coming up next summer.
A lot of people complaining about that tour because it's like only three cities.
Yeah, it's a scaled down version for sure.
And they're like, well, this isn't how this works.
Yeah, it's a scaled down version for sure. I think they're only doing like 3 major stops, and that's about it. But if you want to go, I guess you'll travel. 623, Thick, Kelly, Lewis, morning. 68 today, I think, and mostly sunny skies. Not too bad for a Monday. Not too shabby at all. Excuse me, 69, dude. So yeah, enjoy that second or third summer or whatever you want to call it while you can. Your Morning Blitz trivia question.
All right, so we were talking about Resch's Bakery. They are located at 4061 East Livingston Avenue. Do you know that it is a 100-year-old family-owned bakery? So it's been here for a minute. And, obviously you stick around that long, you're doing something right. It's like Myers Jewelers, And according to Family Destinations Guide, which is a huge global travel guide, Resch's Bakery sells the best this in the entire world. Now, I don't know how they come to that conclusion. I mean, like I said, it's a huge global travel guide. But the answer is apple fritter.
Oh, I love apple fritters.
I do like a good apple fritter.
My gosh.
The world's best apple fritter is here on Livingston Avenue at Resch's Bakery.
We need to try one.
Yes, we do. That's pretty cool, right? So somebody says you have the world's best. You bake the world's best anything.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
That is.
Yeah, I guess they're truly extraordinary. I've never had one. I was reading this from Sav McKeish, said you wouldn't think that something so simple could be the best in the world, but one bite, and that will convince you. And according to Family Destinations Guide, they are unlike any you've had before. Crisp on the outside, soft and doughy on the inside, and filled with chunks of tender apple, generously glazed. Each bite is a perfect balance, I love it, of texture and flavor with the tartness of the apples playing off the sugary glaze in a way that's almost magical. Kelly's mouth is watering.
You would think that you couldn't tell the difference between a donut, but you really can.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm not talking about one that's been sitting out all day. You can definitely tell the difference of an older donut. But if you can definitely tell the difference between 2 different fresh donuts from 2 different places.
Yeah, one that's really high quality.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
You know, I'm not a fan of the donuts where they put all the crap on top with like the candy bars and
I don't either.
The cereal and all that. Like I wouldn't turn one down, but I prefer just like a glazed donut or a stick donut or an apple fritter.
What's your go-to? Do you like the cake donut or do you like the batter fried type donuts? You know what I'm talking about? Like the typical, like, do you like the typical glazed style donuts with that type of dough, or do you like the cake donut with maybe just some icing and not a bunch of additional toppings on top of it?
Well, I like them both, but I guess a glazed donut I would take.
Yeah, well, my favorite is the chocolate covered Long John, cream-filled Long John.
Okay.
For sure. As far as cake donuts go, I do like a good blueberry.
Yeah, I can get on to a blueberry.
Oh, yeah, with the glaze on it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, those are my two favorite donuts,
I
for sure.
love donuts. I'll take any donut.
I never used to like them, but I'm kind of gravitating more to like if you get the yellow cake with the chocolate frosting on that, I'm down with that.
Here's what I don't get: the plain cake donut. Who's buying those? But people are, because they're always being
I feel like that's a go-to coffee dunker for like 70-year-olds.
Maybe.
No frosting, just break that bad boy up, dip it in your
little,
coffee.
like sweetness on the outside.
I would think so too, but you know.
All right, we need to get some Rush's apple fritters in here. Stat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
I do want to try one now. If it's the world's greatest,
I know, the world's
feel like
best,
you're
right?
obligated if you
I don't
talk
care
about
if it came
to
in
try
number 5. I still want one. But
Top
yeah.
5 finish. I'll try it.
Yeah, so one thing they say that always fresh apples, number one.
Oh.
And their homemade dough
Oh.
is the big key to this, according to the report here. So, Sab McKee said the long line at Rush's is worth the wait.
Is it?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you will probably get a line. As far as those donuts, those two of my favorite donuts, the best place I have found them is Der Dutchman from Plain City and Jolly Pirate Donuts in Grove City.
Yeah, I've heard Jolly Pirate's really good.
I mean, they're just, I don't know.
Christiana says you have to try the Long John at Donut World in Lancaster.
I'm more than willing. Absolutely.
These stick donuts at Rush's, I need for them to do an article on these because they look incredible.
Anybody else hungry for donuts yet? Because we're trying. Like someone right now is like, I'm going to stop and get me one on the way to work this morning.
All right, Doug, you always got to complain about something. They don't open till 8 a.m. What kind of bakery Doug
makes a fair point. Doug makes
Not
a fair
me, because those bakeries that open at like 2 a.m., all the good stuff's gone then?
I don't need them at 2 a.m., but I feel like if you're a bakery and you're doing it right, you're a 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. operation.
Well, I guess that depends. I mean, I would assume they're open based on the kind of traffic they've had. They've been there for 100 years, so they know when they get busy or stuff. You know, I don't know.
I guess.
I don't know.
And they're not just doing donuts there. They do other stuff.
But don't you have a better option? Don't you have a better chance of selling more donuts between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. than you would in the afternoon?
I don't think they're having any trouble with donut sales.
Obviously not. What do I know? I am not a donut bakery expert. That's for sure.
Trashman Dave says Buckeye Bakery in Mansfield has been around forever, and they make what possibly is the best coffee cake in the world.
Ooh, I like a coffee cake.
Yeah.
Mike apparently knows where the owner of Jolly Pirate lives. Like, what do you just talk to the guy? What? Get some bad crullers one day and follow him home.
But you know, the 8 a.m. thing, man, when you're making something that's the best in the world, that takes maybe a little extra time, you know?
Okay.
You can't get them ready by 5 a.m. I don't know.
Then start baking it too.
It's the Morning Blitz.
And now it's time for I've Got Something.
Let's see if these dummies have anything worthwhile for us.
I think Guns N' Roses had something too. I think they all sat around one day and went, all right, look, how do we piss the city off and play past curfew and make people stay even longer? Oh, dude, we'll just play Paradise City. We'll get an extra hour out of that. Song starts at 10:45, ends at 11:45, 45 minutes after curfew. Get out.
Well, it's not as long as November Rain.
This is true. Yeah, let's start with Paradise City and end with November Rain. They'll be here till 3 a.m. Easy. It's the Morning Blitz. Anyway.
I don't mind a long song if it's a great song.
It is a fantastic song. Just a fantastic track.
Master of Puppets, 8.5 minutes.
I wonder if they all had a competition. Oh, yeah? I'll see your 8.5 minutes. I raise you 9.
Oh, well, Inagata-DeVita wins.
What is that, like 32 minutes long?
No, it's 17, but actually Rush 2112 is 21 minutes and 12 seconds, but it's actually in 6 parts, so it's really 6 songs.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, because it tells the story.
Yeah. But Inagata-DeVita is, I think 17 minutes.
I don't know how you want to play that long. The same song that long. Like, I would be in the middle of the writing process and be like, all right, let's keep this at a healthy 6.
Tool does it, too.
I know, and go from there. All right, who's got something first?
I got something.
What you got?
All right, this did not age well. This clip has resurfaced. It's from 2011, and it's funny. You know, I don't hold it against her. So Rachel Ray used to do a talk show. I never saw it. Does she do it anymore? Is she still doing it?
Well, she did 30-minute meals on the Food Network, which was where she got huge, and then she was given a talk show. I know. I don't think it's still on the air.
Okay.
I don't know, though.
When they used to play games and stuff, she'd have guests on, and they'd do stuff. And so back in 2011, she had Taylor Swift on, and she asked Taylor what other singer out there that Taylor would take to prom, and she had this selection of photos to choose from, and listen to the answer.
Who would you have taken to the prom?
It would be a group, and it would be a really fun group. Diddy's really always been very nice to me.
He's a gentleman, isn't he? He's a lovely gentleman.
He would be fun to be in the prom group.
I bet he would.
Boy, they're tripping over themselves to talk about what a great gentleman he is.
I bet he had bottles and bottles of baby oil just in case we needed Eddie.
He's such a gentleman.
Yeah.
He really is, isn't he? He really is.
He'd pour the drinks for all of us.
And again, she was 21 years old. It was 2011.
Yeah.
And her encounters with him up to there, I guess he'd been really
If Diddy
nice.
has a punch bowl at his house, nobody's drinking from that. You know?
Oh, my God. It's just like I said, though, it did not age well.
Exactly.
Anyway, there you go.
I got something.
What you got?
The toy industry has its sights set on a new market. Kidults.
I'm a kidult.
Adults who buy toys for themselves.
Oh.
This is an absolute industry buzzword now, kidults, and it is changing what's on store shelves. This is how big it is. Adults spent $7 billion on toys for themselves during the 12-month period ending in June of this year.
I believe it.
And in the first quarter of this year in the U.S., toys bought for adults beat all other age groups, including preschoolers. We're buying more kids for adults than we are for preschoolers.
I have finished my collection of Lego Batmobiles. I have built the last one a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Lego comes up with new products for you. Mm-hmm. Specifically, mostly the toys that are being purchased are nostalgic and collectibles. Anything from Hot Wheels to Barbies to Lego sets. Hasbro's been seeing a huge spike in the sale of G.I. Joe action figures, including a pricey collector series called G.I. Joe Classified. Mm-hmm. The toys most treasured by grown-ups apparently are Pokemon, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars sets, and Funko Pop figures.
There is a Lego X-Wing fighter that sits on the nightstand next to my bed as we speak.
And I know you're not alone. I mean, obviously, billions of dollars being spent on toys for adults.
Do you know how much of a Richard I am, though? And Lauren could probably attest to this. I used to make a point of, like, I'd find some kid that was in awe staring at the toy section. I'd walk my ass up and buy it just so they'd be like, wow, that is so cool.
For real?
Yes, it is.
You are something else.
Is it important to you to look impressive to a child?
Yeah, it is.
What?
Absolutely. I want them to tell tales of me to their friends. So we were in the store and he bought it.
So it sounds like most of the toys are like collectibles?
Yeah, collectibles are nostalgic, you know,
I think
like
they're
Barbies and things like that.
Or they're deemed to be collectibles one day. But again, the problem with the collectible thing is you're all at the mercy of who's willing to pay, how much they're willing to pay for something.
Yeah. I was just thinking about video games. I mean, are those considered?
Yeah, those are huge.
Okay, because I just bought a PS5 in College Football 25 2 months ago.
Those are huge. This part of the story was specifically for actual, but no, digital, absolutely huge.
But prior to this, I think it was the Nintendo Switch, and prior to Nintendo releasing the old games, if you could find an aftermarket like Super Nintendo or games, those things were selling like, $50, $60 a game, for something that was, terrible 18-bit graphics from 1988.
18-bit.
Whatever. I don't know digital bidding.
8-bit. You meant
Thank
8-bit.
you.
I know what you meant.
Thank you.
These G.I. Joe classified series fake action figures are $25 a piece.
Holy Lord.
And if you want, one G.I. Joe classified series action figure is $24.99.
Wow.
That's something.
That's steep.
And they sell.
That is steep.
Yep.
All right, I got something.
Yeah.
What you got?
Okay, we've all heard of the 90s band Prodigy.
Yeah.
You know, they did that song, Smack My Bitch Up. Okay.
Those are the lyrics. Those are the only lyrics, right?
That is exactly what I have. This song, Smack My Bitch Up, has 6 different words in it. But here's the kicker. It's not the fact that it only has 6 words throughout the entire song. The song itself has 5 different songwriters credited towards it.
Oh, wow. So each got a word. One person got 2 words.
I guess.
Does that include the music?
Yeah, that's everything. 5 songwriters total. So where we are? Smack my. That's good. Write that down. Smack my.
John, what about you? Bitch.
Smack my bitch. Okay.
Larry.
Up. That's it. Great. Let's go get some Starbucks. Yeah. That's it.
Well, what are the other 2 words? Those are 4 words. You said they have 6 words. What is it, like, oh, yeah?
Smack my bitch up is 5.
No,
that's 4.
wait, what's he saying? Change my pitch up, smack my bitch up.
Yeah. Change my bitch up.
Okay, so
That's
my
only-
and pitch.
Yeah.
No, not my. Wait,
Change and
my-
smack are the 2. Change.
Change my pitch and smack and bitch.
Yeah.
Those are the 5
Change
words.
and pitch are the 2 other words.
That's hilarious. 5 people.
I mean, it's when you get hired for a job. Look, we want to hire you for this job, but we want to make sure your work-life life balance is really good.
Man, that's funny.
You only need to come up with 5 words. Shine down on the morning blitz. Thick Kelly Lewis 653. All right, so I have a food experiment. Kelly, yours isn't ready. What are you doing? We're on a time crunch here. Crack that open.
All right.
Well, it smells good.
Okay. So I hung out with my neighbors, Nate and Catherine, over the weekend. Awesome people. I've talked about them before. Fantastic all around. Catherine made this. I want you guys to take a bite of it.
Oh, what does Catherine's kitchen look like, man?
It's phenomenal. I wouldn't bring you tainted things. Come on.
It's apple pie,
No,
right?
you said the word taint. So what am I supposed to do
Take
here?
1 bite.
Ooh, what is it?
It's apple pie.
Oh, my gosh, this smells good.
Thank you. Take a bite.
I don't even care what her kitchen looks like. That smells that good.
What's that taste like to you? What's it taste like?
Apple pie.
Kelly, would you concur that it is apple pie?
Yeah, just
What if I
apple
told you
pie.
there's not a single apple in that?
What is that?
What kind of fake crap is this?
What is it?
So this pie was made with Ritz crackers.
That's it?
Yes. Ritz crackers, cinnamon, and the way you mix it together, you literally drop the entire Ritz cracker package, not crumbled up, but you put it together with, I think it's cream of tartar, lemon, and something else, and it tastes like apple pie.
That's wild. It really does. It's so good.
But there's not a single apple in that.
It looks like apple
It looks like apple pie. It has the texture of apple pie. It smells like apple pie. It tastes like apple pie. But I'm here to tell you, it is 1,000% not apple pie.
That is wild.
Is that not the most amazing thing?
It's really good.
I had that
really
Friday, and I've been riding that out since then, and it's been mind-boggling.
That's excellent.
So what is the filling?
It's
Ritz crackers.
Oh,
Ritz
that
crackers.
filling?
Yeah,
How does
but
it-
you can't taste the salt.
Well, it doesn't even...
It kind of looks like thinly sliced apples.
Yeah, but it is not.
That is crazy, man. Come on.
I swear to God, there's not a single apple in it.
I feel like I'm on Pranked or something.
You're not being pranked. It is 1,000% true. This was mind-blowing to me when she
I
made
thought
it.
you were going to say it was Soylent Green.
No.
Ugh.
No, it is not. But yeah, there's not a single apple in it, but it tastes...
That's excellent.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
It's very good.
I'm blown away, man. My head is blown.
Yeah, I thought you would be. I was talking to her. I'm like, can I use this on the radio? She's like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, oh, thank you. Okay.
Do you have a recipe you can share with the family?
Yeah, I'll ask Catherine to send the recipe so you know. But it's not. There's not a single apple anywhere in that.
So if you're really looking to make an apple pie less healthy, just throw a box of Ritz in there. But think of apples.
But think of the time you're saving by not slicing up all the apples and everything else.
What about the crust? Is it also made from
It's a pie. I think the pie crust is the only thing that's a real pie crust. You just use the filling that's
impressive. I am impressied that my taste buds are that fooled.
Yeah, right? I was
That's
too.
incredible, man.
Yeah.
That really tastes like
Nice.
apple pie.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, thank you for the treat.
awesome.
Thank
You're
your neighbor.
Yeah, we just need that recipe.
And now, the 3 things you need to know before you go.
Fire crews are still battling a huge blaze at the abandoned Fort Rapids Water Park on the east side. The fire's in the hotel portion of the complex, which has been closed for nearly 6 years. Crews have been on the scene since before midnight. Now, the whole thing's boarded up, so it's been a difficult fire to fight. They're still trying to put that fire out. Just a couple months ago, that an arrest warrant was issued for the owner of the property for numerous code violations. There are reports that the property was sold 3 days ago to a brand new owner, a real estate investor who had plans to convert it to affordable workforce housing. Now, they say it's not going to be a total loss, so I guess that's good news for the owner, although maybe you just mow that thing down at this point.
Right.
A defense attorney entered a plea of not guilty Friday on behalf of Michael Jeffries, the former Abercrombie & Fitch CEO charged with sex trafficking and 15 counts of interstate prostitution. Color me shocked when I heard that Jeffries' wife and son were present in the courtroom. Wife?
Oh, wow.
I didn't know the guy was married. I thought he had a male partner. They kept talking about this guy. It's not business partner, right? I thought it was a partner in love.
Maybe it's a business partner.
Maybe it's both.
I don't know, man. But this guy, So his wife and son were in the courtroom, and they signed the $10 million bond secured by the defendant's home in New York. He is on home confinement, electronic monitoring, and ordered to have no contact with his co-defendants, witnesses, or victims. His next appearance is December 12th. He is accused with his partner, Matthew Smith, and another man of operating an international sex trafficking and prostitution business that recruited young men for sex parties in the U.S. and abroad. Prosecutors and the FBI believe there are many more victims than the 15 involved in these criminal charges, and they are asking people to please come forward. Now is the time.
Did him and Diddy have separate businesses, or did they do like a joint thing down the path? You know what I mean?
The more likely connection is Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, probably.
Because,
I'm sure.
Yeah, this was all Abercrombie used to be under limited brands, L Brands, Les Wexner, Jeffrey Epstein. So
with all these rich freaks, man.
Yeah, what is it? A 48-year-old Australian photographer is lucky to be alive after 6 days lost in the country's snowy mountains. Lovisa Schoberg frequented the area in New South Wales to document wild horses, and she had arrived on October 15th. This past Monday, a rental car company was like, hey, she was supposed to return her car a while back, and she never brought it back, and we cannot find her. Any chance there's something wrong? So police and authorities launched a search for her. They did find the vehicle, no sign of her, so they sent out mounted units, a dog unit, and a helicopter with infrared capabilities. Yesterday, after 6 full days of searching, she was found alive in the wilderness. She had been bitten by a copperhead.
Ooh.
Yes. And had spent nights in freezing temperatures. They say she was absolutely worse for the wear. Dazed, injured, etc. But she's said to be doing fairly well in the hospital right now. So she's lucky to be alive, that's for sure.
I bet she got some good pictures.
Yeah, I bet she did. Take some pictures of that snake that just bit me as well, just to get some antidote or whatever you need. All right, those are your 3 things.
Okay, so I texted my neighbor about the dessert. A lot of people are calling it mock apple pie, including Trashman Dave, who said it's a Great Depression era dessert because fresh apples were only available to wealthy people.
All right,
in
that makes
parts of the
sense.
country. So here's the recipe. The pie itself is a pre-prepared pie shell with 2 cups of water, cup of white sugar, 2 teaspoons of cream of tartar, 30 buttery Ritz crackers, half teaspoon of cinnamon, and a tablespoon of lemon juice. That's it. That's what makes up the center. And then the topping is 1 cup of crushed Ritz crackers, a half cup of brown sugar, a half teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and a 1/3 cup of butter. And
mock apple pie.
And it's mock apple pie.
Amazing.
Maybe just let's post the recipe.
I will.
Because that'd be tough to write down.
I was going. You didn't what? You didn't get that? Come on. No.
Yeah, post it. Post it on the Blitz Facebook page.
I will post it on the Blitz Facebook page in case anybody wants to try it. Drowning Pool on the Morning Blitz, 7:09, Thick, Kelly, Lewis. Good morning.
What up?
So you have an unpopular opinion about Halloween.
Well, I don't know. I'm interested to see if other people agree with me. You know, we carved pumpkins with our kids when they were little, and then we didn't do it after that for a very long time. And then when the pandemic happened in 2020, you know, we were empty nesters, but we're like, hey, you want to carve pumpkins? You know, because there wasn't much to do in 2020. And then we did it like 3 years in a row, and we, you know, found like really cool designs and like designed and carved the best pumpkins we ever carved in our entire lives. And then we just kind of didn't after that. And it's kind of, actually it kind of sucks. It's cool when it's done, but it's such a mess. And I do like fried pumpkin seeds, or baked pumpkin seeds rather, with salt on them. They're really delicious, actually. Great snack. But it's one of those things that I have just come to the conclusion that it kind of sucks.
Carving pumpkins?
Yeah, and, you know, even when we did it with the kids, when they were kids, they would lose interest before we were even done. And I don't even know, do the kids really even care about having a carved pumpkin, or is it just about the costume and the candy?
It's probably like tradition, you know, it's Halloween, so we're going to do certain things. And one of those things is carving a pumpkin. If you have kids, you're probably really thinking about that.
Yeah, but I talked to a friend of mine, says, yeah, we don't do it anymore. And they have kids, young kids, but the kids don't care about the pumpkin carving. And I'm like, well, it kind of sucks. It's kind of a mess. It's kind of a pain in the ass. It's easy to screw it up.
I think we carve pumpkins with the kids like the first maybe year or two, and then after that, it's kind of done.
I don't think any kid cares about a mess. Like, that's the cool part of it to me. I remember that as a kid, just scooping out the guts. Oh gosh, yeah, and then doing the pumpkin seeds. It was great. I thought it was so much fun.
I used to try to have fun, like try to make fun designs in the pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, we did some really cool. I could show you some pictures. You know.
So you think that nobody's interested in carving pumpkins?
I'm curious. I'm curious. Does anybody have an unpopular opinion like that, like I do about it? You know, or do you have an unpopular opinion about Halloween at all? I'd be interested. But especially about carving. I'm just curious. Am I the only one who feels this way?
It's a pain. You know what's a pain is actually carving it. I mean, you have to be like super careful. Yeah. We had to come up with we would take like a little tiny screwdriver and poke, like,
they make the
score
tools.
It.
They make the tools.
Yeah, we don't go in for the special tools. We just used a little.
They're flimsy though.
Well, they have some better ones now, but yeah, I mean, and that's what, you know, when we found those, that's when we did them, when we started back up in 2020, we found those tools, and they do make it a lot easier, especially that rigid carver, that little, that you actually cut with, that's serrated. That thing works great, but it's so easy to screw it up. One wrong move, man, and you know, it's like, all right. So
I feel like that maybe it's like, the more you do it, the more you're sick of cleaning everything up. It's like paring back on your Christmas decorations and not decorating Easter eggs anymore. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't need all that.
See,
I just want to pare back now.
I would carve pumpkins over the Easter egg thing.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I really have never been a big Easter egg colorer fan. Like, I could care less. But carving pumpkins, I used to, you know, it's fun until you mess it up. And then you're like, ah, damn.
All right.
Cut off the guy's tooth.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. And then you're using a toothpick to try to stick it back in. It's like,
surgically alter your pumpkin so it still holds the look.
I got to cut all these leaves off my plant, man. Come on. Anyway, we'd love to hear from you. 1-800-821-9970. You can text in at 99700. Do you agree? I mean, what do you feel about pumpkin carving? Or do you have any other unpopular opinion about Halloween at all?
Foo Fighters on indefinite hiatus since the Grohl marital external affair, or extramarital affair, I guess you would call it.
Conscious coupling with a younger woman.
Yes.
Who's not his wife.
He fathered a child out of wedlock. Anyway. 7:25. It's Dick, Kelly, and Lewis. Good morning. 68 and sunny today. Not bad at all for a Monday. And Rick asked the question, what is your unpopular opinion on Halloween and certain parts of it, like pumpkin carving, is what came up. And kind of mixed reviews, I'd say.
Rob texted in from a super secret location at DSCC and says he has such texture issues that the thought of even touching pumpkin guts is repulsive. So no carving pumpkins for Rob.
Kevin says he uses the jigsaw to carve the pumpkins fast.
That's hilarious. I love that.
When you're breaking out your power tools to carve a pumpkin, you're next level.
That is really funny.
They said when my son went to school in Worthington, they had a pumpkin contest, so you decorate or design the pumpkin. You don't have to carve it, and that was a really cool way to see what the kids would come up with and be creative.
Oh, so you just draw on it?
Yeah, you draw and paint it. I've seen that.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's more acceptable.
Gerald doesn't like trunk or treats. I don't want to stand in line with 100 other people, make those kids go up and down the hills to people's houses.
Trunk or treats?
Yeah, you know where
what's the difference between that and...
Well, you pull into a parking lot and everybody puts stuff in the back of their car. You just go, you do it all in one spot.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's easier.
Oh, I've never heard of that before.
You never heard of a trunk or treat?
No, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, they do it at churches a lot.
Yeah,
trunk or treats.
All right.
Yeah.
You got to get out and live more.
You got to darken the doorstep of a church once in your life.
Up there. Share some time with Jesus and trunk or treat.
Jake's 8-year-old daughter sliced her finger Saturday night carving.
Ouch. Well, there's another reason to not do it.
Becky sent us a picture. Said, I did these with foam pumpkins. They never rot.
Those are awesome, Becky. Those look fantastic.
Yeah, she carved like Go Bucks, Trick or Treat. That's pretty cool.
That's neat. They almost look ceramic, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Nikki says, you're not alone. It's a pain in the ass. Thankfully, my kids couldn't care less anymore.
Christine's with you, Thick. She said, I have small kids too, but it's such a mess to carve pumpkins. I'd much rather not.
Now, Ryan Berman said, the biggest pain for me is keeping the rodents from chewing my creative designs with their own design. And I don't know if you guys saw it over the weekend in North Carolina. Did you see the woman with the pumpkins on her porch that she carved and what ate them?
No.
She got it on her Ring camera. 3 black bears came up and devoured all of the pumpkins.
You just
that she had carved.
You just let them have them.
Yeah,
and watch
that's
it.
cute.
And it was like middle of the day. It was bright sunny out, and these black bears come right up on the porch and they laid down there with him and just chowed on him and then walked away.
Check out what Lindsay did. She sent us a picture. So I love carving pumpkins. I even draw stencils for the kids to carve. We did Frankenstein and Jason.
Yeah, those are great pumpkins.
Yeah, that's what
really cool.
Yeah, we use stencils too. Those in 2020, 21, and 22, and then it's just like, okay, we've done that. We're done.
Yeah, I think we were talking off the air. Like everything you do around the holidays, whether it's coloring eggs, building gingerbread houses, or carving, it all has to involve a mess of some capacity.
In fact, Tristan said every year we do pumpkins with my dad, and I make sure to be the first one done so I don't have to clean anything up.
You carved that pumpkin fast. Sure did.
Josh says it's a mess, but it's the memories.
Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah.
That's good memories for a kid.
Unless your kids
they're not cleaning up the mess. What do they care?
Well, unless your kids are too young to remember. Like all the people that go out, it's my son or daughter's first birthday party, so we're going to throw this giant extravaganza that they will not remember.
Jay Ward says, Halloween's awesome. I love spooky stuff. Don't really care about carving pumpkins, though. I think we should do away with Christmas and have another Halloween. In fact, he got married on Halloween, so.
Okay.
That's great.
Throw the birth of Jesus right out the window.
Yeah.
7:40 on the morning Blitz. Kelly Quinn, Lewis, Thick Rick, good morning. Thanks to Derek for checking in. Appreciate it. Lots of sunshine today, dry, 69. So not a bad final week of October.
Everybody say good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Linda.
Morning, Linda.
My mom just texted.
Oh, Linda.
She's listening. Love you, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
She came over yesterday to watch her Dolphins, and then they lost.
Did.
Yeah, I felt bad. She loves the Dolphins. And then I watched my Cowboys lose, so I knew how she felt.
It's a bad day of losing football for everybody except for the Browns.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. We might have to talk about that coming up. That was crazy. All right, so we talked about this on Friday morning. It was very early in the 6 o'clock hour, and I wanted to bring it back because it was just unbelievable. And I want to ask a question afterwards if you didn't hear this. A lot of people, they get divorced, they just say, I want a divorce, or they file for divorce, and you get served papers or whatever. And this guy paid these two influencers on Cameo, and I had never heard of them before, and now I've come to find out they have a TikTok page with millions of followers, and their videos have been viewed. They've got tons of videos. They've been viewed millions of times, which I don't understand because I don't quite get it, but I kind of do, maybe. I guess if you just watch it for comic relief. Anyway, they're called the Voros twins, Voros. And this guy paid for them through Cameo to make a video. And this is what the video said.
Someone ordered a cameo from us and said they want to get a divorce. What's up, Victoria? We just want to say that David loved you so much, but he doesn't love you anymore. And he wants to get a divorce. Separated.
That guy's done with her. I mean, done with her. He's like, this is not even serious anymore. But I need out.
Yeah.
All right, think about one of your worst breakups and think about who you would want to have given the news over to.
That is unbelievable, man.
They would work, the Voros twins.
Divorce?
Can't even take
but he doesn't love you anymore.
I know.
What's up, Victoria?
That's so insulting.
Oh, my God.
That's delicious.
Oh my God. Just like you went to that effort, man. You really wanted to just stick it in there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. He's sticking it to her. All right.
So my question is, what odd or crazy way did you ask for a divorce, or were you asked for a divorce, or someone you know maybe? I mean, are divorces going to become like reveals and stuff where we go to these big extravagant ways of asking for a divorce now?
Right, like a big prom proposal.
Yeah.
Except with a divorce. We used to always have to do those bridal shows. You know what I'm talking about? That happen every January or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The big convention centers. Yeah.
I always said if I was a divorce attorney, man, I'd have a prenup booth and I'd have a divorce attorney booth at the bridal show.
Absolutely.
And people get so offended by that. And I'm like, why? I'm like, because you can see, there's three things that you see at a bridal show with the couple walking around. You see the dude that surrendered his spine and is doing this because he has to. You see the guy that thinks he's so blissfully in love and maybe it works out, maybe he doesn't. Or you have the guy walking around going, man, this is just going to cost me way more money than I wanted to. And not sure. Guarantee it. It's like people watching at Walmart. You see the same thing.
Divorce.
But I would totally have my prenup booth, and then I would start the convention with the prenup booth, and at the very end, the last booth you would get to is the divorce lawyer, just in case.
Well, guess what? Every single couple walking around in that place, 1 out of 2 of those couples is going to get divorced.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a statistical fact.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
If you love me, you wouldn't make me sign a prenup. If I make you sign the prenup and we stay together, it never comes into play. So what's the point?
All right. So have you ever asked somebody for a divorce in some crazy way like that, or been asked, or know somebody who did? Just curious.
Or how would you do it if you were hypothetically?
There's another one.
It's the Morning Blitz.
Someone ordered a cameo from us and said they want to get a divorce. What's up, Victoria? We just want to say that David loved you so much, but he doesn't love you anymore. And he wants to get a divorce. Separated.
How would you get a divorce? That's the question we're asking at 7:50. It's Dick, Kelly, Lewis. Would you do something like a cameo? Just do a creative way? Serena says, if as a couple pranking each other is what you do, that would make an awesome April Fool's joke. It would.
Oh my gosh.
Crystal said my ex-husband was served during a softball game while running between bases in front of all his friends and the home wrecker.
Oh boy.
Like the guy standing there, caught him. I mean, what, did he stop running?
I don't know.
That's unbelievable.
Don't you remember when Jason Sudeikis served his ex with papers when she was up making some big Hollywood speech at some? Do you remember that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
I do remember that.
That was cold. That was cold. Colt said that he asked for a divorce when his wife was in prison. He said that he sent the paperwork to her. No, did not visit her. I asked, did you visit her to tell her? And he said, no, I sent paperwork. It cost me $1 to fill it out. Cheapest ever.
Did you offer to keep the conjugal visits going? Hey, look, we're going to get a divorce, but...
He said she went to prison for stealing.
Oh.
I feel like there's a good story there, Colt.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard 2 women fighting one day. Why are you going to hit on my man while he's in prison? The fact that your man is in prison is a whole other discussion that you should be having with yourself.
Jesse and Colt both want Morgan Freeman to do theirs.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Voice smooth as butter. Jamie Mollahan said he'd have to have Christopher Walken do his
Freeman
cameo.
would be good. Now, I know that sometimes things don't work out.
And I just don't love you anymore. Doug said, my wife and I split up for a short time before we got married. I came home to a lipstick letter on the mirror above our fireplace that said, enjoy your castle alone, King Nothing.
Wow. Ouch.
But then they got married.
Crazy.
Let's see. I had a friend who gave their ex-wife a Hallmark Get Well Soon card. On the inside of the card, it said, so sorry for the divorce. When she asked who was getting the divorce, he said the recipient of the Hallmark card.
Wasn't Phil Collins, former Genesis drummer, singer Phil Collins, wasn't he famous in the late 90s for he divorced his wife via fax machine?
Is that right? I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I believe he sent her a fax.
Oh, wow.
Classy.
Mike says this is the new way to clean out the joint account before you have to surrender half of it. Let's see. Mary says, Rick, this doesn't go so much with the crazy asking of divorces, but can we give a shout out to the late, great Stephanie Sutton, who took her wedding dress and turned it into an awesome Halloween costume for Shiprocked. We miss her so much.
Oh, he says he didn't. Says it was a story that's dodged Phil Collins for decades. He says it really hurt my career, my public persona, and it was based on untruth, so I just thought this would be the opportunity to say it didn't happen. In 94, it was reported that split and he filed for divorce via fax. But he says he did not. So I don't know. I guess the truth is somewhere in the middle.
All right. Nobody read the Jumbotron one by Mike, right?
No.
Do it like the ones asking at the sports games. Have the Jumbotron focus on you two and then have it say, I want a divorce. At a Buckeye game or something, can you imagine?
So you don't have to say anything. Just sit there.
Right.
And have the text pop up.
Oh, man.
Let's see, somebody texted in they want Woody Harrelson to do their divorce request.
Woody Harrelson.
Chris from Obet said he would have loved the late, great Sam Kinison to tell his ex-wife to hit the bricks.
I would Matthew McConaughey. I would want Matthew McConaughey. All right.
Oh, my gosh, that new commercial he's in is hilarious.
With the food?
Yeah.
What's Jerry?
DoorDash? Is it DoorDash?
Yeah.
Jerry's eating rice.
Right.
I guess if you're getting a divorce, you don't really have to maintain that level of caring about their feelings. So I guess if you did decide to do some form of prank or some kind of vicious divorce, it wouldn't really matter at that point because you know what the end is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're trying to save face.
Casey said barbershop quartet sent to her place of employment with flowers.
Oh, that's a harsh. Someone said Sam Elliott needs to do the divorce declaration.
Oh, Sam Elliott. Yeah, that'd be another good one. Jeremy said soccer between the bases. I thought you said softball. Did I misunderstand?
No, I said softball, not soccer.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, what did I say?
We're talking about, Crystal. Her husband was served during a softball game.
Yeah, okay. Maybe he misunderstood.
Yeah.
Thought you said soccer. Yeah. I don't know, man.
Maybe they're playing basketball.
Divorce.
Oh my gosh, those guys, the Voros twins, man. I gotta check out more of them. They're very odd dudes, very odd looking, and I think on purpose. Obviously, they've got they've got an act and it's working for them. Like I said, they got millions of followers. But
well, if you're hoping to get a divorce, hopefully we gave you some solid ideas to go with this morning.
And now, all right, listener, 3 things you need to know before you go.
If you want to vote by mail, tomorrow is the deadline to request an absentee ballot. Once your ballot is received, you can fill it out and have it back in the mail by November 4th, or you can drop it off at the County Board of Elections. Early in-person voting also continues this week. The Franklin County site is at 1700 Morse Road. Ric Flair's stepson, Sebastian Kidder, an up-and-coming musician, has died at the age of 24 after taking his own life. Flair has been married to Sebastian's mom, Wendy, since 2018, but they have been dating for years. Ric Flair has been part of this kid's life forever. Sebastian died at the family's home in Georgia on Saturday. The circumstances leading to his death are unclear. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the death of Matthew Perry in the hot tub of his home in the Pacific Palisades. And that home was sold last week to a real estate developer for $8.5 million. And the new owner says, I'll be using that gigantic home as my vacation home. The amount of money some people have is wild. Of course, Matthew Perry died of a drug overdose. His stepfather, journalist Keith Morrison, and his half-sister, Caitlin Morrison, recently created the Matthew Perry Foundation of Canada to honor Perry by carrying on his commitment to helping others through recovery. And those are your 3 things.
The Flair stuff is, that his other, I think it's 1 or 2 of his sons have also committed suicide.
No kidding.
Yeah. Like his other, I don't know if it's his oldest son or his youngest son, but one of them I think also committed suicide a few years. Like this is years ago now, but it's like the second time in that family at some point in time, which is just weird and sad at the same time. We've got your chance to win tickets to see In This Moment. Thunderstruck by AC/DC is what you're listening for. When you hear that, be caller 16 800-821 9970. Cracker on the morning blitz. Sato 7 Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. Everybody's talking about Ric Flair's kids now.
Yeah, so we found out his son, Reed, did die of a drug overdose, 10 years ago or something.
Heroin and a bunch of, and a mixed cocktail.
That is a really tough set of circumstances when you lose a kid and a stepkid.
His oldest son is still alive, and his daughter is Ashley, but she is on hiatus from WWE right now. So yeah, it's a lot of I think Flair's been married a ton of times too, which is, I guess, nothing to do with anything else, but definitely a lot of drama that surrounds that family, for sure. So sad nonetheless. Box office a little sadder this weekend. Venom, even though it was good, fell short of its predictions. Was supposed to be $65 million, landed at around $51 million. But I wonder too if the weather played a part in that, because it was a very nice weekend. A lot of people not necessarily, if you didn't have a reason to go to the theater, I guess you didn't really need a reason to go to, you know what I mean?
Still made about 10 times more than the new Joker
this
did.
This is true. So, for a threequel or a third part to outdo, not bad.
It would have done more if the Buckeyes had lost.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
That's what I told you. My wife's family owned theaters, man. When the Buckeyes lost, theater was packed. Buckeyes win, theater was dead.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I've DJ'd in places where the Buckeyes have played, and I will never forget when they went into Purdue, and Purdue handed it to them that night. Whole damn bar left. After that game, the place emptied out.
It's too depressing to be out.
And I also DJ'd the New Year's Eve where they play, was it Clemson that cleaned their clock on New Year's Eve? Yeah, that was, let me tell you what a terrible New Year's Eve that was. It's just mood changer.
Well, wait, are you talking about just a couple years ago?
Yeah.
That was Georgia.
No, I'm talking about New Year's Eve. What was the first? It was New Year's Eve. This would have been maybe New Year's Eve of 2016.
Okay, then yes. Yeah, that one was Clemson.
Because it was the playoff game fell on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And I think, wasn't that the year Clemson went on to win everything?
Might have been.
But it was not a good game against the Buckeyes, that's for sure.
Was that long ago?
Yeah, because you had everybody super excited about New Year's Eve, and then the Buckeyes playing, and then it didn't go well, and everybody was like, well, let's just go home.
Yeah, people go to the movies to take their mind off the game.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
That would make sense. Sports is life. Life is sports. That's how people feel. But, it's so sad that, like, if you look at movies now, your movie can make $300 million and be considered a failure.
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
Right?
I mean, to me, it's it's about profit, right? I mean, how much did it cost to make? How much did you make?
And the marketing that goes involved with it. But there was a time where if your movie made $300 million, you were like, oh my God, this is one of the greatest movies ever made. And now you're only made $330 million.
I mean, you think about, like, the Blair Witch Project. It was just two guys in a video recorder.
That was it. Gal?
Huh?
What about the gal?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, but they weren't like...
Oh, you meant the people who were filming.
Yeah, they didn't pay a massive crew. They didn't pay...
Yeah, it was really low budget.
Very low budget.
And did it huge. So, I mean, that's a success to me. I don't care if it was the greatest movie or just... Well,
but I believe The Passion of the Christ made Mel Gibson financed that on his own.
Yeah.
And did it on a very small budget, and it ended up making like $400 and some odd million on like $45 million to make or something insane like that.
And that's why I rag on Waterworld. Was so expensive to make, and I don't even think it made a fourth of what they spent to make it.
Yeah. So. No, and that's what happens when you get into reshoots, which cost more money to make, and then you get into, like, you have to market a movie now, and that costs however much money you spend in marketing. You start adding in that, and all of a sudden, like, and then, like, what is it? Solo. They had to reshoot half of Solo, so they essentially spent the budget of 2 movies to make one.
Okay, the Blair Witch Project, it cost under $1 million to make, all right? With all told, production costs and everything. It had an eventual worldwide box office of just over $248 million.
There you go. That's a success right there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a huge success.
Huge success.
And then they tried the sequel, and the sequel was awful. Awful.
I will say, I don't know if it's unpopular opinion, but I loved the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch was
I thought
cool.
It was amazing. I went on, like, opening night, so I wasn't subject to everybody's poor opinions of it. I just, for myself, saw it and thought it was excellent.
The thing that gave it a bad vibe is you had people getting, like, sick because of the jerkiness of everything because they filmed it so naturally, and when they ran, the camera ran with them.
I think people got mad when they found out it wasn't a true story.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
The other thing that they did well is people for the longest time didn't know that wasn't true. Like, they thought that was, like, real.
Because they listed in the credits the people who are in the movie as deceased.
Yeah.
So they were listed in the credits as deceased.
Yeah.
So it was they did pull the wool over our eyes.
But I think also that was, I would argue, easier to do because there was no social media at the time. There was no YouTube, there was no social media, so you believed, if someone said it, you believed it until, you didn't have anybody else to fact check you, I guess. But still, very profitable, very well done. And congratulations on that, because it's not often that you can fool that many people for that much of a profit. Falling in reverse, 8:25 on the Morning Blitz. Stay at Kelly Lewis morning. I think the national anthem has got to be one of the most nerve-wracking things to possibly sing.
I would never, if I could sing, which I can't, I would never agree to do it, ever.
It's like Happy Birthday. You have to start at a low enough note that you can reach the higher notes because they span too many octaves for most people's voices.
Well, and even if you know how to sing the national anthem well, walking into a stadium, the sound, the reverb, there's so many things that go into it that make that a very difficult thing to do. And you're always held by
Whitney Houston standards.
I was going to say the gold/platinum standard that comes with singing the national anthem.
Yeah, but people sing it at local events where,
Yeah, but there's a difference in walking into a
people.
Local high school stadium and singing and walking into the horseshoe and singing it.
And I wouldn't do it in a elementary gym in front of 100 kids.
I always like the guitar players that just go in and play it on guitar.
Right.
Like, if you can play it, you're good. But sometimes people try to sing the national anthem, and, well, it just doesn't go according to plan, as you would imagine.
Yeah, Loomis? Have you heard of Loomis?
Nope.
Not till this incident. I haven't heard of Loomis.
This probably made people know who she is. Not necessarily for the right reasons, but, she got to the Rockets red glare part, and her voice cracked, and then she said she effed it up but she didn't know she was live.
She's like, I want to go back. I want to go. Can I go back or something?
And then she started throwing out F-bombs and stuff, and here's how it went.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight
All right, there.
for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare. Can I go back? Can I go back, please? Bombs bursting, and then I got too nervous. Gave parole.
Yeah, so she didn't know they were live, man. And so she just had to jump right back in and keep singing. And then what blew me away is when they got to the end of it. They all applauded her.
Yeah, well, she was a trooper.
Oh, my gosh.
Wrong. Poor girl.
I know, but TMZ caught up with her and asked her about it.
So let me start out by saying I am the daughter of a veteran. So, Dad, I'm sorry, because I really do sing, and I'm really a good singer, I promise you. So what had happened was, I didn't know it was live, right? And I was like,
Well, how did you not know it was live?
because listen, I had walked out, right? And I was like, oh, say, can I use? But then he stopped me. He was like, we're not ready yet.
Oh.
And I was like, what? So then I didn't know it was live, because I'm like, okay, we can go back. You know what I mean? And then when I got to the spot, and then I got nervous, and then I was scared. I've always said I don't want to sing the national anthem. It's like the scariest thing to me ever since I was a little girl. Because, you know, everyone's standing up all serious. Everyone's all quiet. It's scary.
Why is this song so hard to sing?
You know, that's a great question because, I don't know, because it's so standard and everyone's so quiet and it's so serious. It's not like your own show when you get to be yourself or express yourself. It's like you're putting on for the whole nation or whatever, you know? And it's a scary thing.
Yeah.
So Loomis started this out with 78 listeners on Spotify, and now she's already up to 1,068.
So if nothing else,
she's done really well on Spotify over it.
that's how that usually works, though. People figure out who you are, and all of a sudden what you do have out there gets a jump because people want to check it out.
Yeah.
For a little while.
Carl Lewis is still my favorite. When his voice cracks.
And the Rockets, red flag.
Oh, gosh, it's so good. Just address it now.
I'm never going to know that.
Thunderstruck on the Morning Blitz, 8:39 thick. Kelly Lewis, congratulations to Billy Green.
Down in Waverly.
Picking up those tickets to In This Moment. We'll have more tomorrow for your chance to win. Plus, you're also in the running for that VIP package that includes early entry and a chance to meet In This Moment.
Yeah, you get a picture with them and all that. Plus, we have another concert announcement just before 10 today.
Yep.
With tickets.
Also, we'll talk to... Dick and I had a chance to talk with Doc Coyle from Bad Wolves about the Blitzmas concert with Pop Evil. We'll talk about that and talk to him coming up a little bit later this morning.
He had an interesting take on Halloween and holidays, too, that I thought was great.
That he did. So we'll discuss all of that a little bit later this morning. All right, they say if you cannot do this, you're old.
Okay, we're going to find out.
Standing on your foot, one leg for more than 30 seconds.
Yep, if you can't stand on one leg for 30 seconds, you are old.
Who's going first?
I will.
Go for it. Did you practice all weekend?
No, I didn't have to practice. I have great balance. I was a break dancer.
50 years ago.
I still have great balance.
You sure you don't want to practice for 4 or 5 weeks before we do
this? Why do we do this right out of the gate with no training?
That's the kind of stuff Lewis does. I have a timer thing here somewhere.
No training at all. Just going to do this.
That's all right. We can ballpark it.
Where is it?
I can stare at the countdown right here.
I'll just count in my head.
Yeah.
Really. I'll give you a 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana.
I'm looking at a clock countdown right in front of me.
Okay, and you're supposed to do it on your non-dominant leg. So I'm left-handed.
I'm going to preface this with I have pins in both knees.
I'm on one leg. Just are you looking?
No.
Yeah, you just checked for balance there, so get your hands off the...
I could do all kinds of stuff on one leg.
All right, I'm done with you. You're good.
What?
You're not old. You've proved it.
Your turn.
I don't know if I can do it.
Uh-oh.
I'm still on one leg, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right, you want your full 30.
Oh,
all right. Yeah. Go on. You're good.
Oh, no, I'm done now.
He was doing dance moves and everything on one leg.
Well, he's a breakdancer with perfect balance.
That's right.
Yeah, but he just proved it too.
Don't
so
hate-
you
don't
can't.
hate
Yeah, you
Lewis.
can't hate him. He did prove it. He was right.
He's also a typing prodigy.
Well, that's another thing. Hey, man, we all have some sort of skills.
I don't think you have to go that far out.
Oh, wow. Kelly's like in a
doing-
pose with
Yeah,
her
you're like
leg
ballet
back,
balancing
she's
over
flying.
here.
Like a crane now.
Flying. Yeah. Oh, look at this.
Crane kick,
Karate
Mr.
Kid
Miyagi.
over here.
Now,
And remember, that was all about balance. Remember, you got him out on the
All
on the
about balance.
boat.
ballet.
Look at. Did you do
impressive.
ballet?
Yeah,
You did. Oh, Kelly got this easy.
I got it.
Oh, she put me to shame. I thought I had great balance.
So I'm good, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're not old. Now watch Lewis. Lewis is the youngest one in here.
All right, Mr. 41-year-old
Checking out.
senior citizen.
Checking out in 23 or whatever it is.
He's good. He's solid. We're
Now
all
wait a minute. Aren't you
solid.
right-handed?
My dominant, I'm left-handed, but I play sports and do everything right-sided, which is dominant.
I'm kind of that way. I'm
So what-
right-handed, but I do everything
What
left-handed.
leg would you kick with?
My right leg, which is the one I'm standing on.
No, they said with your non-dominant leg. You should stand on the
Oh,
non-dominant
oops.
leg.
I stood on my dominant leg,
Oh,
too.
if I did my left leg, man, I'd stand forever.
Oh.
Okay.
It's different on your non-dominant leg.
It is.
Yeah, it's harder.
Okay, well, I'm over 30 seconds on this.
Yeah,
leg.
you're
You want me
good.
to
You're
switch?
good.
All right,
I'll
all right.
switch. That's fine.
I think we're all right.
you're fine.
I
I
think
go
you're
with the
okay.
other leg. I can go with the other leg. No
It's
big
all
deal.
right. Can you scream, "Get off my lawn" while you're
Get
standing
off
on
my
leg?
lawn! Stupid kids.
Yeah, so the Mayo Clinic, came out with this. They had people try to balance on one leg for 30 seconds, and it wasn't a problem for most of the young people. But for every decade you tack on, your ability to do it decreases by a couple seconds. That was the average. And they found the best predictor was how long people could do it while standing on their non-dominant leg.
All right.
Okay, I want to know how long you can stand on concrete without your lower back starting to ache.
Good question.
Oh, concrete's terrible for you, man. Like, I see people walking on the sidewalk, and I'm like, man, just walk in the street on the pavement, because it does have a little give. You know, the pavement is much better for you than the sidewalk, whether you're running or walking, either way.
All right. So we're all judgmental, but we're not quite over the hill just yet.
Yeah, it says if you can balance for at least 30 seconds without any trouble, you are not over the hill yet. That's exactly what it
All right,
says.
I'm teetering on the top, but
Says
I'm
if
not quite over.
It says if you can't or you sway a lot, then you're probably old, or at least your body is aging quicker.
Now, you can practice and retain your balance. You can do that, and you should do that. I've seen that on, if I'm going to be honest, TikTok. That, people who are into health and fitness and aging and things like that, they say you should regularly be trying to balance on both legs. On one at a time.
Really?
You should regularly be practicing and trying to maintain that balance.
Okay. This also says if you can do it with your eyes closed, so there's another thing. But I'm telling you guys, spinning on your head required unbelievable. It was ridiculous. It took a long time.
I think we all learned from the Force that it's better with your eyes closed. You don't need to see. Your eyes are deceiving.
That's right. That's right.
You know, close your eyes, open your senses.
Use the Force loop.
Absolutely.
He didn't need to be looking through that stupid computer monitor.
Exactly. That's why he turned his targeting computer off.
Targeting computer, that was it.
Didn't need it.
Oh, everybody's saying you don't use banana when you're counting. You use Mississippi.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
I use 1 banana.
Oh.
Is that a song? 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4.
Maybe.
That sounds familiar.
Kane Brown has a 1 Mississippi song if you're on the country side of things. I'm glad we wrapped this up. I got to go get some Ben Gay for my niece.
What are you?
6 a.m. on the Morning Blitz, 8:49. Thick, Kelly, and Lewis. All of us able to stand on one leg for at least 30 seconds.
I wonder how many people have tried it. I want to know. Tell us if you were trying it. That's a good little test. Because if you're like 30 and you can't do it, you need to go see a doctor, like now.
Yeah, but I think there are people that have things that ail them, even at younger ages.
Sure. Oh, there's no question. But I'm just saying, if your health is got to the point that young where you
and go through the building. All right, everybody, stand on 30 on your leg, one leg for 30 seconds. See who makes it. Interesting test, though, of all the tests. Because when would you ever really have to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I could see doctor asking you to do it. If this now, anyway, since
They
the
do
Mayo
it
Clinic.
as a dementia test.
Do they really?
A quick test. Yeah, when you go to a neurologist, you take a quick test, maybe a 15-minute, sort of cognitive test, and then they do want to see your gait when you walk, and if you can stand on one leg or not.
Makes
and
sense.
if you're in physical rehab, when you go through, what do they call it? It's not physical rehab, but when they want to see if you can go back to work or go back to living on your own. What's that called? What's that kind of rehab called?
Occupational therapy?
Occupational therapy.
yeah,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That is a big thing. It's being able to stand on one leg.
So, and we have to apologize to Jeff Riedling. We were talking about Ric Flair's son, who heroin overdose killed himself earlier, and he was telling us all this. They're opening the investigation, and there's new stuff. He was talking about Matthew Perry, and we were talking about Ric Flair. So I just want a public apology for, the confusion. So there you go.
All right. I also wanted to... Oh, now, damn it. Where'd it go? Oh, Kelly, your song.
The one banana?
The banana song.
Oh, one banana, two
Oh,
banana,
Dave, that's the
three
Banana Split
four.
song.
Yes.
Oh, the Banana Split song. I guess that's how I can tell if I'm old. Not whether I can stand on one leg, but whether I know the Banana Split song.
Yeah, it's a TV show, The Banana Splits.
Ow.
I guess they're kind of like the Wiggles.
Dave, Brian, somebody else texted about it. Thank you, guys.
I didn't know a thing called the Banana Splits existed, so that's how I am.
So here's a little public service announcement for you guys. The National Security Agency says if you are a smartphone user, you should turn your phone off and on at least once a week.
Oh.
Can you say you do that?
Nope.
You got to reboot it. See, mine gets turned off every night, and I didn't know about it. It's just my routine. But they say if you follow that advice, you will be safe from malware and spyware in 2024 and beyond. With smartphones running across all operating system platforms, becoming an increasingly popular target for threat actors, the NSA said many of the features provide convenience and capability, but sacrifice security. And they attempted to pin down simple steps that even the most non-technical users could take to better protect their devices and data. And just rebooting your phone once a week can prevent spear phishing to install malware and zero-click exploits and other things that leave you vulnerable. It's not a complete silver bullet solution, but it will help a lot.
I will tell you something that I discovered in the last couple of weeks, and it was when, I forget who, you and I were interviewing somebody, and I had to sign into my Google account in here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
And in the process, I had to reset my password to get into everything. But it reset the algorithm for everything, like my YouTube feed and everything else, and it's awesome now because I'm not getting swarmed with political crap in all my YouTube feeds all the time. Like, I'm getting all kinds of different stuff that I'd never seen before. Like, it was refreshing to update that whole thing. And not, you're getting a whole different, I'm getting a whole different span of the internet that I had yet to discover, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, I know like I said, I turn my phone on and I turn it off every night before I go to bed and then turn it on when I get up. But my wife, her phone never gets shut off. She charges it, but she's got her alarm clock is on her phone next to her bed. So it's never off.
There are people who believe, and I think it's true because I've seen it, Apple, after a certain level of your Apple product, will stop updating it, and they say it runs slower and does a bunch of other things. Now, I've had the it will no longer update part. I don't know about the run slower stuff, but I'm convinced that that's not just an Apple thing, that's a universal thing, because my phone is taking longer than ever before to charge. And I had been due for a phone upgrade for probably a year and a half now, but I don't want to upgrade because I don't want to change all my stuff over and go through the hassle. But I'm wondering if now, they're sticking it to me because I haven't upgraded yet and my stuff's not charging as fast, or if it's sooner or later, if you're going to turn it off, it's not going to come back on. But I don't know if that's the case or not. But I do wonder.
Does that stuff happen?
I think it does.
It happens. It happens. It was provable because Apple got sued over it.
Right. We're going to make you get a new product, so we'll make your old one not work.
Slow your battery down to where it's practically unusable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple enough, right? To turn your phone off and back on once a week. If that's going to help you.
I think you guys made fun of me for still having an iPod. Like, I forget who it was. Somebody was making fun of me for still having an iPod.
Well, I'll make fun of you
Thank
now.
you, Kelly. I appreciate it. That bad boy now, I can get, if I'm lucky, 2 hours charge on that after it's fully charged now. Because it's like a second or third generation. So, or no, maybe it's fourth or fifth generation. But either way, like 2 hours and it's done. As opposed to before, like 2 days and it was done. So yeah, I think it is kind of a scam that they run to manipulate us.
Real quick to go back to balancing on your leg for 30 seconds. Matt said he's like you. He's also he's left-handed, but sports he's dominant right. Being able to bat left and right-handed growing up really helped out, I can imagine. And James said, how do you know which leg is your dominant leg? Well, it's usually going to be like if you're right-handed, James, it's probably, not every time, but probably your right leg. But like if you were going to kick a ball, which one would you kick with? You kind of know by feel, by instinct, I'm going to kick with this leg because that's your dominant leg. So
in boxing and fighting, if you're right hand dominant, so like your power hand is your right hand, you would stand in your stance with your left hand, your left foot forward, and your jab would be your left punch.
Yeah, you're going to jab with your non-dominant hand. You're going to hook and stuff
if you're
with your right.
southpaw, you would stand with your right foot forward,
jab with your right,
and your left would be your
Yeah, because your power is going to come
from your dominant side.
Yeah.
So. Not that we are at any point in time experts.
And now, all right, I'm listening. 3 things you need to know before you go.
A large fire at an abandoned water park in East Columbus that I guess went up in flames just before midnight last night. Columbus Fire called to Fort Rapids Indoor Water Park Resorts on Hilton Corporate Drive. It was about 11:45 or so. For hours, crews battled flames in the tower. The fire chief says it's too early to determine the cause of the fire, but arson investigators have been called to the scene. Former hotel and indoor water park shut down in 2016 thanks to health, safety, and fire code violations. The current owners bought the property in 2017. After the water park was shut down, they never reopened the business. They just let it fall into complete disrepair. The city did take legal action against the property owners to get them to bring it back into compliance. And they've been incurring fines since 2022. There is a report that Fort Rapids was sold a few days ago to a real estate investor who had plans to convert it into affordable workforce housing. Though that little portion of the story has been dropped for now. I'm not exactly sure why, so we'll have to pay attention.
Fishy, fishy.
Fishy, fishy is right.
Just saying.
All of a sudden, this thing goes up in flames.
Yeah.
I mean, Occam's razor here, people, I think. An astronaut who was hospitalized after splashing down in the Gulf of Mexico is reportedly back on their feet. NASA officials say astronauts Matthew Dominic, Michael Barrett, Jeanette Epps, and their Russian colleague underwent post-flight medical checks after their SpaceX capsule splashed down off Florida's Gulf Coast on Friday, and one of the crew members had to be hospitalized. They won't say why. The astronaut, who's not been identified, has reportedly been cleared now to join their crewmates for post-flight reconditioning in Houston. Daylight saving time ends this weekend, exactly 2 a.m. Sunday, November 3rd. We fall back 1 hour, making it lighter in the morning, darker at an unreasonably early hour. Ohio is among more than a dozen states that have pushed to observe daylight saving permanently. The state's House of Representatives passed a bipartisan bill to urge the U.S. Congress to pass the Sunshine Protection Act, which is a bill to transition to perpetual daylight savings nationwide. The measure is now under consideration in Ohio's Senate. The bill sponsors say, look, the U.S. does not need the tradition of changing clocks anymore. They point to a bunch of studies that show that moving clocks in the spring and fall cause a number of work, school, safety, and sleep-related and health issues. So they're like, let's just stick to one time. I agree. I'd like to stick to daylight saving.
I do too, but you would think of all the bills that they could easily pass Like this should be the one that should be just a no-brainer.
Well,
and just to get it off, if nothing else, get it off the calendar.
Yeah, I mean, it was for the Ohio legislature. It just takes federal.
That's what I'm saying.
Federal government to act, and they don't act on anything quickly.
No, but wouldn't you know, if you were staring down a stack of like 500 things to do, wouldn't you go, okay, what can we...
Yeah, this is an easy one.
Let's get this out of the way.
Hey, guys, this is done.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I can put this on my resume. I successfully signed a bill to change... Yeah.
Exactly. It just feels like it would just be...
Yeah. Easy one.
I feel like if something is stopping it, it has to do with money.
Right.
For some way. I don't know how in the world it would, but...
How much can we make on this?
You know.
Big darkness. Big darkness
is out to get us all. Not letting this one go.